What's poppin', y'all? Welcome back to the Heat Report and welcome back to another edition of Heat Weekly. We talk all things Miami Heat basketball and talk about your and mine's favorite team, the Miami Heat. Now, before we get into everything, I really want to shout out and tell you guys that I'm really appreciative of all the support, especially on that previous video where I talked about the guard dilemma. A lot of people love that video. We're up to 398 subscribers, 2 away from 400. So make sure y'all hit that subscribe button if you're new, and make sure y'all like the video and check out my second channel in the description and the pinned comment once y'all are done with the video. As far as comment of the day and question of the day slash question of the day, there were no questions, but the comment that I really loved was from God Got Me. Shout out to you. Who said, I don't think it's hate on Hero, but it's holding him to accountability unless we're seeing different things. And I absolutely agree with him. A lot of people, I have no problem with people saying that X is better than Y. Like if you think Kendrick Nunn is better than Tyler Hero, that is your opinion and you're completely entitled to it. And that's fine. Holding Tyler Hero accountable is fine. I'm just, the only problem that I have with people are the people the Heat fans especially, who hate Tyler Hero because we didn't trade him for James Harden. Like, he can't control that at the end of the day. He can't control who he gets traded for. He can't control if he gets traded. If you want to get mad at someone for not trading Tyler Hero for James Harden, get mad at the front office, because Tyler Hero, he can't control if he gets traded or not. And you have to be very careful while judging players after 1.5 season, especially a sophomore who's coming off of a shortened off season, without any summer league or anything like that, shortened training camp and everything, who's been in and out of the lineup with injury. He's gone through a rough time as far as his off the court battles with injuries and all that other stuff. So, and I thought he bounced back really well yesterday in his first game back after his period out. He dropped 22 against the Spurs, and I thought he was one of our best players last night. And I thought if I'm not mistaken, he almost outscored the Spurs' entire team in the fourth quarter. So it shows that the flashes that he's showing us, I think he has all-star level potential. It's just a matter of, whether he's going to be on our team long term, and whether he's going to be on our team long term or not. None of us can control that. So for these couple months, especially when we're rolling into the postseason, we have to support our player because he is going to be our player. He's not going anywhere unless we trade him, because he's not a free agent anytime soon either. So shout out to God Got Me for the comment. If you want to get your comments / questions in below, I will pick out one or two of them, and I will be answering your questions or reading your comments out and shouting you guys out. So get your comments in below, and let's get right into it, man. So the Miami Heat have, in my mind, their most important part of the schedule coming up. These last 13 or so games are going to be super crucial as far as the standings go. We are now on a 3-game winning streak, and I do expect that to continue. The teams we're playing next are the Hawks, the Bulls twice, the Spurs, the Cavaliers, the Hornets are our next 6 games, and the first 3 are probably going to be against teams without their best players. Trae Young unfortunately went down yesterday with an injury. Prayers up to Trae Young. But I do think that he's not going to be available tomorrow because he had to get he hobbled off the court, and he got an X-ray which came out negative, but he still has to get an MRI. So I think I don't think there's any way he's going to be playing tomorrow unless he gets some speedy recovery, like some abnormal recovery time, which I don't think is going to happen. So Trae Young is probably out tomorrow. And as we know, for the Bulls, who we played twice after the Hawks, Zach LaVine is injured as well. I don't know when Zach LaVine comes back. I think it was like a 10-day timetable when Zach LaVine, or 10-game timetable, and I don't know if it's been exactly 10 games since he's been out yet, but expect Zach LaVine to be out for at least one of the games, if not both of the games against the Bulls. And then we play the Spurs again, who I think are a very beatable team. The Cavs, who we have consistently shown that we can blow out, and the Hornets, who have given us trouble, but I think that should be a winnable game, especially with no Gordon Hayward possibly. LaMelo's probably coming back, but I don't think they're going to have Gordon Hayward on their team. Then we get to some tough games like the Mavericks. We play the Celtics twice, and the 76ers, and then the Bucks. Those 5 games are going to be very tough, and we have to make sure that out of those 5 games, if we win at least 3 of them, I think that's a W, because I fully expect us to win all the other games, especially against the Timberwolves and the Pistons that are also there. So in these last 13 games, if we can go 11-2, 10-3, I think if we go anything above like 10-3, I think I'll be completely happy. I think we're capable of beating all these teams. I don't expect Spo to rest any players. Whether Oladipo comes back or not, I think Oladipo will probably be back during playoff time. I'm not sure if he's going to be back in the regular season. But I don't expect any other players to be rested. Bam and Jimmy were clearly rested against the against the Rockets, and I don't expect them to be rested anymore. This is go time. We need them. And we have, bar Oladipo, a fully healthy roster. I know Iguodala missed last night with a hip injury, but which he also missed against the Timberwolves. But I think Iguodala's hip is not that big of a deal. I think he will be playing in most of these games. So we really do have to capitalize, especially if you look at the other teams that are around us. New York Knicks are currently on an 8-game winning streak, which is really insane. No one really expected the Knicks to be a 4 seed. And if I'm looking at their schedule right now, like if I click on New York Knicks right now, they have a couple tough games. They do play the Suns. They play the Nuggets. They play the Suns again, the Clippers, the Lakers, who are probably going to have LeBron and AD back, and they play the Celtics. Those are 6 games that I think they're probably going to lose. But they do have games like, the Raptors, the Rockets, the Bulls, the Spurs, the Hornets. They're probably going to win the other games. So they probably have a slightly tougher schedule than us to finish out. But I don't think it's something that they can't handle. So I think the team that we have to bank on, falling out for us to get into the top 6 is probably going to be the Hawks because of no Trae Young. I don't know how long Trae Young is going to be out for. This would be really funny if I put this video out today and it came out that Trae Young is going to be playing. But I don't expect him to be playing, for at least a week. Like that injury, I don't know if you guys saw it, but it looked kind of bad. So Trae Young, the Hawks, I think they do have a sort of tough schedule after they play us. They play the Bucks, then they play, they have games like the 76ers twice. They play the Trailblazers and the Suns. And then they play a Wizards team twice that is really looking to make a push and are hot at the same time as well. I think the Wizards, if I'm not mistaken, are on a 6-game winning streak. So the Hawks might be the team that falls out if we do well. So we have to make sure that we get ourselves in the top 6. I think that's the main goal. We do not want to find ourselves in a play-in where it's a 1-game elimination and we turn up bad on one night and we're out. So we have to make sure we're not in that play-in game, because if we're in that play-in game, it's going to be tough. I do not want to be in that play-in game, especially with hungry teams like the Hornets and Pacers, who have beaten us twice, the Wizards, who are hot right now. I do not want to be in a play-in game with them. Just because, even if we get out of the play-in game, we're going to have to play the Nets first round or 76ers first round. So you don't want that to happen. 4 through 6 is where I think we're probably going to end up. Who drops out, I'm not sure. The Celtics, I do think we'll pick it up. I think us and the Celtics will pick it up. I don't know about the Knicks, man. The Knicks have proven a lot of people wrong, but whenever I look at the Knicks, nothing on that team has really changed apart from, as far as personnel goes. I know they got Tom Thibodeau in, who really strengthens their defense, but I think the reason the Knicks are so good, it has to be because of Julius Randle's massive improvement. I know they traded for Derrick Rose. RJ Barrett has improved. But I do think Julius Randle and Tom Thibodeau really have made that team click. So shout out to them. I did not expect the Knicks to be this good. We do have to lock in and focus on this final stretch though. We really do, because I think all these next 6 games are all winnable. And then after that, out of the Mavericks, Celtics, 76ers, Celtics, and Bucks, like I said, if we can win 3 of those games at least, we'll be in perfect shape, because then we have the Timberwolves and Pistons, who I think we can comfortably beat, even though we lost to the Timberwolves, which shouldn't have happened. I do think we can beat the Timberwolves. Depends on if they get Malik Beasley back. I think Malik Beasley's serving suspension or something like that. So yeah, this is going to be a very, very crucial stretch for the Heat. If we're talking about things that I saw last night against the Spurs, I really like the defensive effort, especially in the third quarter. Spo deserves a lot of credit for going to that zone periodically, and that 3/4 court press where we were kind of pressuring them in their backcourt, they didn't really know how to deal with it. Our defense is really good. I really like our defense. Because we have a lot of things that can be thrown at the opposition, whether we go man to man, whether we trap, whether we go zone, or whether we go the press. There's so many looks that we can throw, and the offense is gonna have to be kept on their heels because they don't know what they're expecting from us. So I loved our defense last night against the Spurs. Like I said, Tyler Hero had a big game, and I thought Bam was really assertive, especially at the beginning. He kind of dominated inside, which is good because none of those bigs that they have could guard him. Like, no disrespect to Podol and Eubanks, but they can't hold Bam down there. I thought Trevor and KZ were really good on defense, but on offense, especially KZ was missing a lot of wide open threes. We need those threes to start going in. My only concern, Duncan and K'Nunn, if they didn't, I know like K'Nunn didn't have the greatest offensive game, but I thought defensively he was good. Same with Duncan, and I thought Duncan did a great job, with his reads on offense as far as passing to the open man, and with that slip pass when Bam sets the screen, he's really good at that. One thing I'm really concerned about, like I was saying, when on defense, when Bam is switched onto a smaller player, if they miss the shot, it's very easy for the big to get an offensive rebound. So we do have to make sure that we box out really well. We do not want the bigs to get offensive rebounds against us because it leads obviously to second chance efforts. And that's the only downfall about the switching thing, is that the bigs can really punish us inside if they have competent bigs, which is why if we play a team like the Sixers, it's going to be tough because Joel Embiid is going to eat down there if Bam is switching every time. So we got to be wary of that, the switching defense, which I think we will cover up a little bit. Like, especially, I think the switching was fine with Oladipo, because he's so active defensively. He's not like even against like a bigger guy, he's able to front, he's able to steal the ball if he can, cause disruption. So I do think with Oladipo possibly coming back for the playoffs, I think that switching will be fine. But as far as right now, we're getting guys like Kendrick Nunn, who's only 6'2", and guys like that stuck onto bigs, and that's kind of going to be a matchup nightmare if we don't clean that up real soon, which I think we will. Spo's doing a great job right now, so shout out to Spo. Jimmy came back, looked pretty good. Obviously, we all know what Jimmy's about. First half tries to get his teammates involved. Second half sort of tries to get his. I don't think he was like that. He missed a couple layups, and he could have taken some other wide open layups as well, which he passed up on. But quietly, he was one of our best players. Almost put up a triple-double, 18, 11, and 7. Amazing point guard performance by Jimmy. I think the greatest thing about these last 3 games is that we're getting our guys back into their rhythm. Tyler, this last game was playing really well. Goran was playing well against the Nets and the Rockets. The guys that were kind of off are coming back, and I think that's really good. And Dwayne Dedmon, man, what an addition. Dwayne Dedmon might be the best buyout candidate who has gone to a team in this season, and I'm not sure if I'm missing anyone. I know the Nets got LaMarcus and Blake and all that, but and I think I don't think anyone else did anything significant in the buyout market. So Dwayne Dedmon, what an addition he was. Because the Spurs, I know we were linked to Gorgui Dieng. The Spurs picked him up. He's just sitting on their bench. I don't even think he's getting minutes. I saw Gorgui Dieng check in when the game was over, basically over. Like, Gorgui Dieng. I'm so glad we went for Dwayne Dedmon. So Dwayne Dedmon, great effort by Dwayne Dedmon. And I love where this team is going. We have 13 games left. I think if we go 10-3 in those games, which I think we can, or anything better than that, we'll be in great shape. So stay tuned for these 13 games, man. It's gonna be a wild ride. I'll be here with y'all covering, the Heat, making videos and everything like that. So stay tuned for stay tuned for the 13 games. Stay tuned for the 13 games. Like I said, get your comments / questions down in the comment section below. Check out my second channel, which is going to be pinned as the pinned comment and in the description if you guys don't see that. And as usual, man, like the video, subscribe. Let's get that 400 mark. You guys are the best, man. I'll see y'all later. Peace.